Hey guys, it's Krystal Lucier here, also known as your Home Sweet Home 519 Realtor, Krystal Moore, and this is Realtor Life. And guys, do I have a treat for you today? Welcome to Laurie Hawkins. Hello.
Hi.
So excited. So Lori and I met way back before the big P word, the big pandemic. Um,
Mhm.
when I was new to London, and you, Lori, you had a beautiful group of entrepreneurs that you would
Mhm.
gather every month, I want to say. What
Yes.
was the name of that?
It was the SOAR group.
The SOAR
SOAR.
group. Yes,
Hmm
yes. And as someone who was new, I was so grateful just for
Mm.
the open and warm vibes. Um, and that's in London, Ontario. So here's what I wanted to ask, Lori. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what your business is now?
Mm.
Let's go into a fun little story about how you even got here. Like,
Oh my goodness. I love this. I love because you and I will just riff back and forth like we
absolutely.
always have.
Yep.
And I just want to say, going back to SOAR, the beautiful thing about it was people like you because it was women entrepreneurs like really seeking to find their home.
Yes.
And all of us landed, for me, I just felt like I was a catalyst in it. And we had this opportunity to come together. And I still see all the relationships from that.
Yep.
The P word definitely changed what unfolded with that, which is all beautiful and meant to be. But I do still remember meeting you because you have this like powerful, beautiful essence in your energy alone. And so, yes, I remember those early days of meeting you. It was beautiful. What do I do today? So I work with leaders and business owners, founders to really help them drive their strategy through their soul. And so I and this has come recently. I've always said strategy and soul. Like we have these things that need to coexist.
Yep.
But recently it's like, actually those need flipped. It's soul with strategy. We
Yeah.
really have to come from that soul-led place first,
Yeah.
especially with how we're seeing the world change. And
Mm-hmm.
what's evolving for me as we step into 2026 is that I'm actually working with organizations on how to find harmony
Yes.
between humanity and technology.
Ooh, what a
Yeah.
great, powerful goal. I love that.
hmm
I love that
Super
because you can't
exciting.
ignore it. You can't ignore the technology piece.
No, and fun fact, I have a technology background. It's actually where I started. Well, I start where I started is a whole other thing. But I spent a long time in telecommunications as a leader in telecommunications. And so I love technology. I'm excited about the things that it can do for us
Yes.
and with us. And yet I see leaders really struggling to figure out how we find harmony between the human and I actually think this is finally we have a time where we're going to be able to step into conscious leadership
Yeah.
and coherence and embodiment because we're going to have time if we
Yeah.
leverage the tools properly. This gift of
Exactly.
time that we've been craving for so long as
Yes.
women entrepreneurs, we know this, the biggest thing that
Yep.
we feel like the currency we're struggling with the most is time.
Yes.
And so if we can
Much.
find some alignment with time, then
Yep.
we finally get to, really focus on the things that bring us joy and fulfillment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We had Ron O'Neill, who's one of the AI experts in Canada, on a few months ago.
Oh, fun.
And we were chatting about if you can look at AI as like a super awesome helper and
Mm,
assistant who is just like ready to help you be extra awesome and help
mhm,
you speed things up and everything, your goals. If you look at it as trying to replace you or anyone else,
mhm.
that's where you get into trouble because
Yeah.
but as a helper, like, oh my goodness,
Mhm.
right? Like, even
Well,
with communication.
everything, even
Yeah.
with systemizing. I think The language I've been using is for small, medium business owners. It's the
Yep,
great equalizer
yep,
because we're both small business owners
yep,
and it's the cost of there's a barrier of cost to entry in
yes,
so many things we know we'd love to do to grow our businesses
yeah,
that corporations and large organizations have the ability to leverage. This is going to equalize where small, medium businesses have same opportunity to leverage tools that large organizations do. So, if we can put on that, it's a support, it's a partner in our business. If we can put that hat on,
yep.
it's the great equalizer. It's like
So
it's really
cool.
juicy and fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And I guess the question I'd have is when you're kind of guiding leaders through the process, um,
Hmm.
how would you say, because I think a lot of people, like to our point, like obviously we're both advocates, but if somebody is dealing with a lot of fear coming
Hmm.
from below, from the people they're working with, or
Mm.
fear in general, like how do you help them kind of see their way through that or guide people?
Hmm. I think we've sort of had a misperception of fear in so many ways. I
Okay.
I'm also fearful. And these things can coexist that I actually haven't met a leader that isn't fearful and excited
Okay.
because it is the great unknown
Yep.
in so many ways right now, as was electricity when it first came in, as was, the
Yep.
printing press, if we want to go all the way back, as was farming when it started to become more technology focused. So, the internet, which you and I both lived through, I didn't even have a cell phone or a laptop when I started in sales. And so, we've watched things that had fear
Yeah.
create amazing opportunities. And so the whole sort of like feel the fear and do it anyways, I'm not really sure that's quite the right psychology. I
Yeah.
think it's more embrace your fear, learn to
Yeah.
understand where your fear is coming from and it's creating resistance. Great. What's that resistance? And, I always say, you can come along with me. My fear is going to come in the front seat with me and I'm
Yep.
going to buckle it in, but it never gets the driver's seat. It never gets to come over to the driver's seat.
Yeah.
And so, really our fear is information.
Yeah.
It's helping us understand where our own blocks are, or it's actually, preparing us to have awareness in things that we actually need to be aware of. So,
For
I
sure.
think for leaders, the most important part is understand your people feel fear.
Yeah.
Don't try to talk them out of it. Don't try to
Yeah.
pretend it doesn't exist. Actually, come up with if I were you, here's the things I might be thinking of that
Yes.
are causing me fear. And let's work through those together.
Oh, I love that. And I will say for anyone, well, I'd say anyone listening, I know right now, like e-signing, DocuSign, AuthentiSign, it's very common, right? So like how I think
Hmm.
everyone has signed something online.
Great
When
example.
that came in, I like I think I was the last person. I was like, absolutely not.
Yep.
Like there's no like click, 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 I bought a house. Like, are you kidding? And of course, and then like so I'm like digging in to understand it. And then I
Hmm.
realized it's attached to your email and your IP address. And like
Hmm.
it's very safe. But now because I had that fear, I also find when I explain it to people, it's a
Hmm.
lot different because I'm like, hey, you might be, and I tell them, I'm like, I was like so against this. But then when we look at your saving time, you don't have to worry about, you can read everything. Like it used to be with, I mean, with real estate, but I'm sure with any contract, you're
Hmm.
changing it and writing on it to the end. You don't even know what it really
Hmm.
says,
That's so true. I have
right?
no idea what it says.
And then we used to have to include like a blank copy with for the
Hmm.
lawyers. So they're like, what are we reading?
Hmm.
But something like that, which we now looking back, we're like, okay, this makes life so much easier. But at the time, people were very hesitant.
Very hesitant. That's a great example. I think even like if we just go back pre-COVID,
Yep.
it's one of like we really learned that we can be together in different ways. Look at you and
Yes.
I are
Yep.
doing this right now, whereas we would have driven, found a studio,
Yep.
spent 4 hours out of our day to have this beautiful conversation. And it still would have been incredible,
Yep.
except now we can do it more efficiently, as effectively. We don't have to have that drive on a snowy winter day in
Oh my
Ontario.
gosh. I will tell you. So, I mean, I think I'm giving away some of my one of my traits, which is that like I really am like an old lady that doesn't want anything to change. In 20, I want to say 2015 or 16, one of my colleagues was like, "Hey, Krystal, I would love to get together. Like, can we have a Zoom coffee?" And Lori,
Mm,
I was so offended. I was like, if you don't have time to spend with me, we
right.
can just wait. And I remember, like, I always think back
Mm,
to that because I love this. I love this now. But I was so like, you can't be bothered.
right.
And I mean, because I don't think I realized that it would feel like this.
Well, and also the businesses that you and I have both grown up in are they're all about connection. And we
Yes.
had the belief, I was the same, the belief that live connection was the only way to have connection.
Yeah.
And we really learned that. So it's like one of the gifts through COVID, because I was the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
I mean, I spent more time behind my windshield was my best friend and the
Yeah.
person I spent the most time with. And
Yeah.
now I love the balance that has come from the ability to do this and know that we have just as rich a conversation and just as
Yeah.
meaningful a connection, right? Yeah.
Without getting cold, which I think
Without getting cold.
on a snowy day, I'm like, we should lead with that because I don't have hypothermia. There's no snow
Yeah.
in my hair.
So good. So good.
Okay, so what is your business called now?
So my business is still Hawk inspired, and yeah, it just keeps evolving as the world
Yes,
evolves
I love
and
it.
leaders evolve and expand and need new things. And so I just continue to reinvent along with, whatever the real themes and challenges and opportunities are with the leaders that I work with. So
I
I
love it.
mostly work with medium-sized organizations. I come from a corporate background,
Yep.
and so I understand the corporate beast. And I knew when I started my business that wasn't home for me. It was, I mean, I love big corporations, but they have everything they need internally.
Yes.
And so I love working, especially with founders who have created something, really incredible and impactful. I just love walking alongside that journey in a different way. And you see the impact on the people and it's a direct connection. So yeah, that's where
So
I am
good.
today.
So good. I will say so one of the my favorite memories for you with you
Mm,
is when we had our mastermind group.
hmm.
And I will say like this was a group, there were six of us, I believe.
Yeah.
And Lori showed me number one, that you could be an awesome leader and also
Mhm.
like your journal and your book that you took notes in, it was all like you had markers and
Yes.
and I was like, oh my gosh, like it was just like kindred spirits because I'm like, so I don't just have like, you don't have to put away your creative side to have a business meeting. And
No,
I love
that's
it.
so funny. And I haven't changed, Crystal. So it's I actually, if we were sitting in my office, I'm in my podcast studio, but if I was sitting in my office, you would see I always have like a huge pile of gel pens, all different colors. I still have my stickers, and
Yes.
it is interesting because we were talking about technology. Everything's digital, and there's something for
Yeah.
me in particular, and I actually think if we all paused, there's something for each of us available when we have pen in hand
Yes.
and we are writing things down, our creativity, our endorphins, everything comes out in a very different way. So I do remember that we were soul sisters in
I
that.
love it. I love it because it really comes down to like it almost like locks it in, I find. Like if you
It
can add
locks
the
it in.
creativity in,
Hmm.
And I mean, to the point, if let's say you're listening and you're like, well, I'm not really into like doodling and drawing or writing with color
Mhm.
pens. Cool. You don't have to be for this to work. If you just take notes, like you can take notes on computers and people do it all the time. But
Yep.
if you literally grab a pen and a piece of paper and you
Mhm.
just like, let's say you're listening to something and you jot something down, I think, I don't know what the stat is, but it'll stay in your mind longer
Mhm.
than if you're
Mhm.
just typing on a computer.
Yeah, it's actually been proven that a different part of our brain wakes up when we have a pen in our hand
Yes.
than when we, and I'm not going to go into science because I can't remember if it's the amygdala or which part of the brain it is,
I love that you
but
know if it is. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I just know it works.
but it connects to that creative
Yes.
connecting part of our brain, and that's why we actually remember it in a different way, which is fascinating versus when we're typing,
Yeah.
we can shut off more of our brain than when we're writing.
Yeah.
And so it is really, and you can feel it. I know when I've spent a ton of time on my laptop or, using my devices, my brain can go super numb in a different way than it can if I get out
Yeah.
that pen. Or for me, I'm still old school with I have got a book and a highlighter. So
I have a highlighter
everyone's like,
right
why don't I
today.
even have, yeah, right? I even have like a dear mentor of mine who's now in his 80s, and he's been so impactful with me. And it's probably 20 years ago. He said, Laurie, you've got to give up the book and the highlighter. You've got to get the digital reader. And so I tried. I tried, but I can't highlight it. I need that highlighter to
Okay.
actually have it connect to my brain.
And I'm gonna say, I know there's, I know my colleagues. I know someone's listening to this and they're like, actually, there's a feature where you can highlight the book.
There is, it's not the
It's
same.
not the same. It is
It's
not the
not.
same.
No.
And so, I mean, and I think this is really timely because when this airs, we'll be right in 2026. And
Hmm.
another thing that's great to write out, guys, is your goals,
Yes.
right? Your goals. And what's nice is that you write the goals, and as things like come to fruition, you can highlight them, and it
Hmm.
feels so good.
It feels so good.
Does the endorphins you get, I don't know. It's like I've never been like I've never known like about the highs you might get like with drugs or anything, but you know what? I feel like this is the best way to do it
It's the
properly.
dopamine hit right
It
there.
is. It just
Highlighter, dopamine hit. And I also love that, for people listening is I'm a big believer in things coexist. And
yeah.
so we can be leveraging digital tools that
Yeah.
create efficiencies and
Yeah.
effectiveness and
100%.
amazing. And then we can grab the highlighter in the book
Yep.
and, still really, I think that we've been so numb for so long
Yeah.
in not paying attention and back to time crunch and people really not having that extra bandwidth.
Yeah.
But when you do, you start to wake the F up and realize
Yeah.
that, yeah, we want to be connected to the things that we're doing, no matter what that is.
100%. And I think
Hmm.
whether you're listening to something like this or you're having a meeting with someone or you're doing a mastermind, whatever it is, when it's just you can forget, right? So
Hmm.
like you like, I should do this, I should do that, and then you just get busy. But
Hmm.
if you're having that chance to listen to other things or other suggestions and you just try them, that's when I find I get the best ideas, right?
Yes.
Because you don't like you only know what you know.
Hmm. That's why podcasts are so, I mean, why people love them so much,
We
right?
recommend,
Because
guys.
you can be you can be back to with your best friend, your windshield, but driving wherever and
Yes,
listen to some inspiration, some insights, and
yes,
then you go back and say, hey, how could I apply that into my life or business?
yeah,
And so it's, the media opportunity and the quick connection to people that inspire you is so
yeah,
easy today. It's
yeah.
beautiful.
And I think it was it Zig Ziglar who said you want to turn your car into a moving university.
Yes.
And he used to do it with a record player, guys. So we are so lucky.
Crazy. That's crazy. Okay. There's another example, right? Look at in our lifetime how much
Yeah,
music has changed or, taking in content has changed. It's at the
yeah.
drop of a fingertip now. Hmm.
Well,
So
and so for all of our efficiency people, so let's say you only have 6 hours and there's 12 hours of content you want to listen to, there are programs that will listen to it for you and give you the highlights. Like I think that's
Sweet.
cool slash crazy, but very cool.
It's both end. Again, they coexist. Oh, that's
Oh,
great.
so good. Now, are you still doing, you started, I can't remember when, I think it was in or before COVID, your Pop the Cork Fridays?
Yes, we still do. It's so and I mean it right now it's ginger ale because I go through just a conscious relationship with alcohol, and I'm always so mindful, like I don't want people to associate the pop the cork at all with, it's not about alcohol, but the pop the cork
A celebration.
is, it's a celebration,
Nice.
and I actually do really focus on creating this opportunity for leaders, whatever it looks like. And the pop the cork is such, the sound, the
Yeah,
bubbles fizzing, like it's such a visceral experience of a pause. So it's twofold. It's the
yeah,
pause that we don't know how to take, and
yeah.
it's the celebration before you get to the next, I've got to climb the next mountain. And
I love
so
that.
where it started for me was actually in my 50s, and I am very openly a recovering workaholic, a recovering hustle grind woman.
Yep.
My podcast is Ambitious, Awakened, and Aligned because I believe we can find a way for ambition and alignment to come into harmony together.
Yes.
And yet lived most of my life before my 50s in just the ambition, just the performance,
Yeah.
just the, do. And so something changed, and I knew that I needed to look at my health. I was diagnosed with an autoimmune. I knew that I needed to do things differently. And so this Pop the Cork was born in the 50 year, where it was, how do I pause more? And
Yeah.
so every Friday, my husband and I committed that we would be done work by 4, and
Lovely.
we would, kick off the weekend. We would find somewhere in nature. We
Yeah.
would pause, literally pause, and celebrate what had been amazing in the week. Like actually acknowledge
That's huge.
before we moved on to the next thing. I'm
Yep.
telling you, we both kicked and screamed for probably the first, I want to say at least 6 months. It
Yep.
was like, oh, we got to do this thing. Or he'd be like, I got another meeting. Or, or what if someone sees us? Well, that's the point, is maybe we
Ripple.
could
Yeah.
ripple effect an energy and shift that we actually believe needs to happen in the world.
Oh,
And
I love
so
it.
after 6 months, it started to be this fun, and now it's become, I think it's evolved so many parts of who we are
Yeah.
and the impact we have on other people, and how much I coach and teach on pause and celebration. And you think they're the simplest things in the world, and they're the hardest things for us to do.
Can we go back for 1 second and
For
just so
sure.
that everyone can just hear exactly what that was. So 4 o'clock, you finish work, you take a minute and you celebrate and acknowledge what
Mhm.
what you've done in the week before
Mhm.
setting the goals. Because I feel like people will be like, yeah, I can
Mhm.
absolutely do that. Like we'll celebrate it and then we'll set the intention because we're all
Yes,
workaholics here. You're in a safe place.
right? Literally, we're checking the box. Oh, we did the Pop the Cork Friday. Check,
Boom.
check.
What's
Oh my
next?
goodness. Yeah, what's next? We did
But
it.
to not say what's next, to say
Right.
like just stay in that moment. And I mean,
Be present.
I think that's amazing because I already feel uncomfortable listening to that. I'm like, oh, and we just chill on the next goal. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I
You
can,
just be present. You
yeah,
just actually allow your body. And this is where I do love the bubbles. It's like, so as I take in the bubbles from that first sip, I'm like, let every bubble in this sip just influence my
yes.
cells to understand how to be present.
I have a treat for you, actually. You may
Oh,
not know about
yummy.
this.
What?
So, as you know, so in COVID, my husband and I, we took a break from alcohol. We went
Yes.
for like a year and a half,
Yes.
and we've kind of like I've gone in and out with it because
Hmm.
sometimes I feel like it, sometimes I don't. But I found there's a not a brewery, a winery in Kelowna called
Mhm.
Ones Plus. Like,
I've
oh,
had it.
have you had
It's
the white
spectacular.
wine, the
I've
white
had the
sparkling
bubbly.
wine? Yeah, I was
I've
gonna
had the
say because the
sparkling.
white sparkling wine. So
Yes.
it is wine. It's
Yes.
just alcohol-free wine
Yes.
that actually tastes good,
Yes. And
and it's so hard to find.
you know what's fascinating is actually a lot of the Ontario wineries now are creating a non-alcoholic version.
Because you
So
want the wine,
yeah,
you just don't want to feel sick the
yes.
next day. Yeah,
Yes. So, yeah, I'm on again a journey of not including it and
yeah,
still finding the ways
yeah,
to have the bubbly and the pop the cork.
yeah,
Because the moment is like we were saying, it's not
yeah.
actually about the fact that it's champagne. It's just about the pause
The
and the
moment,
celebration. It's
so
about the
good.
moment.
I was excited. Yeah, I was excited when I found that because like I think the thing for me was that I didn't really care to have the alcohol, but I
Yeah.
still wanted the experience of having like that's why I love the non-alcoholic beer because I liked going for lunch and having a beer with someone, but also
Yeah.
feeling good to go back to work.
Love that. And for me, I like the cork pop. Like it's like
Yes.
every time a cork pops, I'm like, ah,
It's
like even if I'm in
Pavlovian,
a
right?
restaurant and somebody else's, I'm like,
Yeah.
ah, and
And then
everyone's
you're
like,
just like, and you're like, do
yes,
I feel amazing? Because
yes.
you've conditioned your mind. I love that.
So that's why I liked the ones, right?
Yes,
Yes.
ones plus or what? I don't know if I
Ones
don't know.
plus, that's what it is. I loved it because you could still pop the cork.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
So
so good. And I mean it's tough to get because I think they actually run out because
yes,
it's so
they do.
popular. So if you guys know Lori and you want to give her a gift,
I will always accept.
here you go.
I will
Oh,
receive.
so good. And then speak just to go back for 1 second. So we also got you made a really cool thing happen during the COVID times with the SOAR book. So amazing. I have my copy upstairs, but the
Who's
it's very
that?
cool.
Oh, wrong.
I'm
Who's
excited.
that?
Guys, that's me. Hi.
It's you.
It was such a fun experience to be part of that book.
Mm,
And it's like I feel like there there's a lot of books out there, guys, but what I loved about this was that you helped us like basically curate our own stories to share. Because
mhm.
that's the thing, right? Like all of us are on our own journeys, but isn't it inspiring when you hear someone else's journey? You're like,
Yes.
oh, like I could do that.
It
Like
was
it's
such a powerful experience for me because it was like holding hands with 11. I think there's 11 authors, 11 beautiful people birthing their stories.
yeah,
And I had no idea going into it. It was just, hey, I think it would be really a beautiful opportunity for some people that I just adored to be able to share their stories. Hey, what if we just do this?
yeah,
I had no idea it was going to be so profoundly powerful, and the timing of it
yes,
was incredible. So, yeah, it was like just being in this circle of empowering people's stories. And it's hard for people to share their stories. I mean,
it is.
you're incredible at it. And so, for you, I just felt like it was this elevation of what was already there. But
Thank
for
you.
some of the people in our community doing it, it's like I don't know if I want the world to
Yeah.
open that up. And so it was really powerful for
And
sure.
I think one of the things that was really great about you doing that is that sometimes we get, especially entrepreneurs, and I'm going to say a lot of times with women, but I think everyone, at one point you feel like we have a culture where like bragging about yourself is not okay. And
Yes.
so when you're telling that story, women especially, like if you were telling it like on a stage or in a group, you almost want to like downplay your role, bring up
Hmm.
everyone else around you, and you don't
Hmm.
really get to just sit in it. So I think it was really
Hmm.
cool that you were like, no, this is like your story. Like you are the star of this chapter in having that support where a lot of the times, for whatever reason, even when no one says don't brag about yourself,
Mm-hmm.
We get so fearful that people will think that we're like tooting your own horn or patting yourself on the back.
Yeah. It's so interesting that we have that. And I would say that it is mostly women that struggle with that.
Yeah,
I think it just in the and I am a we need men and women in their strength and power operating together, collaborating together. We have unique abilities. And we did grow up in a masculine system. We grew up in that sort of, the parts that we talked about, that drive and that, get it done. And men operate on a 24-hour clock. It's been biologically proven. Women operate on a 30-day clock. And
okay, yeah,
so even how we navigate through things energetically are so different. And yet you and I were raised to navigate within a system that works in that 24-hour period, make it happen. And I
just
mean,
figure
it's
it out.
became very natural to us as well because we just amplified the masculine side of who we
Yeah,
were. And
absolutely.
so I really loved, and we had a couple of men in the book who shared their incredible stories. Yeah, and I loved that as well. But they didn't have the same struggles as the women to share their
Yeah,
voice. And
yeah,
so I think what's exciting in this new year that we're in now is that is shifting. And part of it is women learning to receive
yeah,
and really learning to receive and share their voice and share their impact. And the world needs you right now. The
yeah,
world needs you to share your story. And it doesn't come across as bragging. It's just whatever you've been through. This is what I love about people's stories is whatever you've been through when you share it,
yeah,
you're actually helping someone. You're just putting a hand back and saying, "Hey, I've been through this thing that it looks like you might be going through, and I survived it." So I can
yeah.
give you, some ways through the
I can do it. You can do it. Yeah,
I can do it,
absolutely.
you can do it, and I'll walk alongside you as you go through it.
That actually is so cool that you said that. So it reminds me, I was listening to this really great podcast, and it was about women kind of standing in their power, but overcoming the struggle. So, like for example, um, like take the seat at the table. Like don't wait to see if it's left over at the end. But then
Yeah.
also, um, I think it's changing, but women for the longest time, we had a scarcity mindset. So if we got an
Mhm.
opportunity, you're almost like lifting up the ladder at the end. You don't want anyone else to come up because they'll take your
Mhm.
opportunity. But
Mhm.
it was like lift them up. There's enough room
Mhm.
for all of us. Like let's go. Let's all do this.
Yeah. And I think this is again where we are entering the age of humanity. I really believe that, where connection and consciousness are all coming back. They've always been here. We're just remembering what really matters.
Yeah.
And this is our opportunity to just keep expanding that. I really do see that in a big way. And so if you have something to share, share it because for me, it's the hand forward, the hand backward. I'm always going to be trying to grasp someone's hand
Yeah.
over there that, like, I need help, I need support,
Yeah.
I'm going through this thing and you've been through it, you can help me. And
Yeah.
same, like we can always mentor people that aren't quite where are at yet or
Yeah.
are suffering something that we've turned into a scar. It's a open wound for them, but we've got a good scar there already. So, I think if we can evolve in those ways and the sort of age of the guru, I think is dead. It's more about that deep connection to really just supporting each other in ways that
Yeah.
we're kind of gifted going through the struggles so that we can help people on the other end.
I love that's a perfect way to say it because it is sometimes I feel like you also want to help someone cut through the noise because as much as
Yeah.
there was the guru, there's like 70 of them and they're all
Yes.
saying different things. And you're like, okay, so I should get up early, but I should get enough sleep and I should take a cold shower, but not too cold. And I should like I had
And
to
I
talk
should eat carbs, but no, I shouldn't eat carbs. And I should eat protein, but you should have low protein. I mean, you could go on and on and on, right?
I yeah, the amount of information about
Mm.
living your best life. Although, fun story, you might appreciate this. So, you know my husband, Brett.
I
So,
know him well. He's an angel.
I love him. So, when at the same time, Brett is always like looking for the next cool thing for us. He's like, he
Hmm.
wants us to be healthy and great.
Hmm.
So, a few years ago, maybe I want to say 2 or 3 years ago, everyone, all the rage was the cold plunge.
Yes.
So, everyone was buying these cold plunges. And I'm just like, I know us. And I'm like, okay, so we're gonna buy this thing, and then we have to get ice into it, and then we have to fill it up, and that's how we're gonna use it. So I made a deal with them. I'm like, okay, okay. So I said, I want to support you. I love it. I want to be like on board, but here's how to get me on board. We have a pool. I'm like, we're gonna turn off the heater on the pool. You
Mm.
go into that pool when it's cold for a cold plunge 3 times. 3 times. You show me that it's like part of the routine. I'm in. Let's do it. We're still at one.
I love that.
Because the thing is, like, the idea of it is cool, but he's like, I
Mm.
don't know to take a cold shower. I'm like, I think that's a great idea because
That's
we're not
what
going
we
to use
do.
this thing.
Right? We do the cold showers. And then I also love that it's like if you can take it longer that day because your body is asking for
Yes.
it, great. If it's a literal 2 second, yeah, yeah, no, I'm done with that for today,
Yeah.
you know, and you don't have the extra
'Cause it is good for you.
device.
It's just
It is.
it's like you have to just I feel like it's one of those things where it's good for you, but you don't need toys,
You don't need toys.
right?
Yeah.
Like and I think if it was easy, like if someone was going to come to our house and fill it up with ice in the mornings
It'd be
and then be
perfect.
like, okay, guys, it's cold plunge time and you don't have to work until later today. And you're like, oh, great, it's cold plunge
It's
time,
perfect.
right?
Yeah,
And
I
so
think it's that sovereignty piece, right? Where there is so
oh,
much information, like you said, and there are like unlimited amounts of opinions from other people.
yeah,
And the big thing as unraveling from this, hustle grind, overachievement and performance for me has been, what is my body actually saying? Because
what do
it's
you
going to
need?
be
Yeah,
different than yours, and it's going to be
yeah,
different than the people listening. We're
yes,
all unique human beings with unique needs,
yeah.
and learning to listen to our own. I think it's a lifetime of working towards that.
100%. And
Mhm.
and sometimes it's just something actually Brett's been doing boxing coaching. So he's helping with athletes and mental fitness. Um
Fun.
and so even just scrolling, like doing
Mm,
the scrolling for all the shorts. And by the way, the shorts that are telling you to eat the carbs, don't eat the carbs, eat the protein, don't eat the protein, get yourself a cold plunge. You can't, a cold shower is not good enough. Like all these things, but it actually messes up your mind. Like
yes.
you're not going to feel better, more productive or
Hmm.
anything. And it's kind of cool just hearing it from from the view of how do we help younger people excel?
Mm.
And then you're like, well, younger people aren't the only people that need this advice. Right. So like how many hours are you spending scrolling?
Oof. It's a big one. And I love that. I know you're younger than me, but I'm just going to like bucket us into our
Let's do it. Let's
generation.
bucket it. I'm
But you
in.
are younger than me. But I love that, people in our age groups
Yep.
to say, oh, the next gen, they're really, they are this, they are that. We raised them.
Yeah.
And And I actually also think they will be given the path forward to save things and rescue things because they're brilliant. They're brilliant in different and unique ways.
Yeah.
But I mean, I cannot believe the number of people in my age group that I sit with at a dinner that can't not put their phone away or can't, oh, my kid's texting, or, our kids are all in their 20s now. So I think that they can survive a dinner of us being away from them for,
Yeah.
they can handle a hot minute without us. And so it's interesting because I really think the numbing out has become,
Yeah.
40s to 60s are really struggling with that. And we've got to figure it out so that we can support this rise in mental health issues, the
Yeah.
rise in anxiety and depression, the rise in just chaos everywhere. And
It's huge.
the opposite of what we've been talking about, connection,
Yeah.
because when our brains go numb because we're scrolling, we don't want to be connected. We don't have the energy to be connected. I actually I love this because I kind of really think TikTok is fun. I do. And I was listening to Dan Martell one day and he was saying, well, he doesn't watch TV. I don't really watch TV. And it's not for any reason other than I just don't enjoy sitting and watching it, period. It's not because I'm trying to like say it's good or bad. It's nothing like that. For me, it's not the way I feel. But hey, every once in a while, I'll find a great Netflix series and
Yeah.
I'll binge watch it and then I'm done for six
Yeah.
months and then
Yep.
I'll do my thing again. But I will sit, and this is what Dan Martell said. He's like, I don't really watch TV, but I will sit for 15 minutes every night and scroll through TikTok looking for positive, impactful things for my brain.
Yep.
And so I thought, oh, well, that makes sense. So then I started doing that. And it is only good things that I don't do the news. And this is again just for me. It's not healthy for me. I just feel so much empathy and pain for people that I can't watch the news or it's just I won't be able to sleep.
Yeah.
And so I know that I need positive feedback or information that I'm taking in. So I'm taking it in positive, but I start doing this every night for like 15 minutes to 30 minutes, let's say.
I like
And
that.
I see my brain start to shut down.
Yeah.
I'm getting foggy. I'm not sleeping as well.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to analyze this. I'm like, but hey, I'm taking in motivational quotes or listening to someone who's doing a great little 5-minute talk on something so empowering, and still that
Well,
scroll
so
is
this is
hurting my brain.
actually so Brett's when he was going through the training for the kids, he was explaining and they were explaining. So because the shorts, like 5 minutes is a bit better, but because the shorts are so, it actually shrinks
Yes,
the piece of your brain that can focus longer, right?
yes,
Shrinks,
our
shrinks,
attention has
right?
deficited.
And the other thing is if you're doing it at night, like your brain doesn't know the difference with the light, right? So even if you have like
Exactly.
blue light glasses, your brain's like, oh, the sun's up. So we
Yeah,
don't need to go to sleep. And the rest of your body's like, if we
yeah.
could just interject, we're tired.
Yes. And we notice those things
Yes.
because we have a different state.
Yeah.
Whereas if you have become so attuned to that,
Oh
you
yeah.
don't actually recognize you're tired. You just feel like that's the way you feel.
That's just how you feel. Um, Kids, by the time they're 16, I think the number is like 25,000 hours they've been on
Ooh,
right? But I mean, that could be a whole other episode. We're gonna run out
that's
of
a whole
time.
other episode.
It's at the end of the day. So I'd say like the good things are fun to listen to, like to watch. I
Mhm.
do find though, like I was doing that too with YouTube shorts. I was
Mhm.
watching like I sometimes like at one point you're like, how did I get here? Like I'm watching
Right.
people almost die like on a slide off a mountain. I'm like, I can't. But then but then I was like, I had this series because the algorithm knows what you like.
Oh
So this series where like a dog would like anticipate something bad was going to happen and saves a
yeah. Mhm.
baby. And I was like,
Oh,
right? Like your heart's like, ah, but then I'm just like, do I need to watch 10? And then
right.
like I need to go to bed.
And it's fascinating watching because you know that you're actually in control of that. Like you have enough consciousness
Yeah.
to know, and yet you still get caught in the trap to
Yeah.
watch the time.
Yeah. And I'm
It's
just like, after the first one, I'm like,
wild.
I get it. It's wonderful. It's amazing, but they're not my dogs. They're not my kids.
Right.
I need to go
Right.
to bed. I have a busy day.
You need to go to bed. Oh,
So,
amazing.
Lori, question for you. If you could go
Yes.
back to
Mm.
younger Lori, so maybe in
Mhm.
this role, so maybe not your old role, maybe
Mm.
it is. World is your oyster. You get to decide. So, what advice would you give to you that may have saved you some time and frustration?
This is such a profound question. I deeply love this question. And and okay, so the first thing that comes to mind, and maybe it's because we've been speaking about it, is I would learn to receive. As a woman, I would learn to receive support. I
Yeah.
would learn to receive a compliment.
Yeah.
I would learn to receive loving myself. I would learn to receive the fact that it was okay to pause and celebrate. Whatever comes under that word receive,
Yeah.
I would love that every young woman listening understands it's the way through and not wait until I was in my 50s to learn that. So that would be my biggest thing, I
I
think. Were
love
you
that.
asking for two? No.
I can take two. She's good. I'm
I don't
like,
know
give me
where I had
two.
two. I was like, two.
I,
I don't know if I can come
I
up with two.
I
I
think I
made
said
it
one
up.
or it probably said one or two. I
Oh,
think it's really I think I probably have like so many things I would go back because I feel like the learning journey has been big, um
yes.
but yeah, what give us another one. I'm like it's amazing.
So
I love
so
it.
then I would go to the pause.
Yeah.
And it is the simplest thing that we can incorporate
Yeah.
every single day. I could not believe when I finally learned the pause how much I think I held my breath.
Yes.
Literally not breathing, just sitting at my desk or working with a client or out and about, and all of a sudden be like, oh, I'm clenched. I'm not even breathing. And so just learning to pause, I would say once an hour, you set your phone and you pause
I love
until that becomes a habit that is ingrained in you. So I would learn the pause and that the pause was actually power.
Ooh, I like that. There's a sound bite. I love that. The pause is power.
The pause is power.
I think, and I mean, how many times have people said like the the joy of a goal, whether you know it or not, is the pursuit of it. Because once you hit it, it's kind of like, oh, like it's very disappointing. Like you're happy because of, I mean, if you have a highlighter like us, you're super happy because you get to whoop. Um, but beyond that, you're like, okay, now what? And
Mhm.
it can be very if you don't know that the journey was part of it, or
Mm,
you don't take time to
mhm,
celebrate, like and I mean, I think we just get so used to the grind, like you said.
mhm.
But I love to
Well,
hear.
and we're both from a
Yeah,
sales environment, let's call
yeah,
it.
yeah,
And so, I grew up in corporate in sales, sales leadership. And so even unraveling from what have you done for me today, because the results of that day were what we were measured on.
yeah,
And I remember when COVID hit, and I'll make this quick, but I think it's so important for
yeah,
because I assume everyone listening to you also comes from that type of performance background or is in that performance
yeah,
era right now. We're all, I mean, and you and I are still in
yeah.
the performance is a thing. But COVID hit and my business overnight went boom because I was in live places with my clients. And obviously, your business went through a what are we doing now kind of
So
a phase, and
crazy.
it became amazing. But in the first phase of that was what's happening.
Yeah,
Well, the phase for coaching took a little longer. And so, we didn't do this back then. I was driving to all of my clients. How were we going to do that? What was going to happen? And it took a few months. And in those first few months, I was faced with the question of who am I then?
yeah,
If my business is not succeeding in the way that I have been used to success,
yeah.
then who am I? Then I'm not a success. And I love that COVID happened for me to unravel that who I was had always been linked to what my results that month were.
Okay.
Not in general, like actually that month, because sales was that. If you succeeded this month, you were a hero. If you
Yeah,
didn't hit your number the next month, all of a sudden you might get fired. Literally, it
yeah,
was like that up
yeah,
and down. And so I played with that for the whole first year of COVID of actually who am I and how do I because we're born whole, we're born worthy, we're born incredible. We
yeah,
do not need to achieve anything to have an impact in the world. We were born that way. And
yeah.
so, I think that that is something that we really need to keep working on is that connected to everything, attached to nothing. It doesn't mean anything about who you are.
Thank you for sharing that because I think one of the things, and I mean, we're always learning. And this
Mhm.
year I had to remind myself. So the market went crazy this year in a different way. The
Yes.
market was very like up and then stopped and then up and then stopped.
Mm,
And as someone who I love sales, I love doing well,
mhm,
I'm a people pleaser though, which means I'm a
mhm.
client pleaser.
Yes.
So giving bad news that I can't control is
Mm,
very, very heavy emotionally. And I
mhm.
finally realized, I think someone said it to me, or I was kind of reflecting. I'm like, take off the cape. I
Take
I
off the
lit
cape.
I literally can't change the market. I can keep doing all the things we're doing. I'm going to keep you informed, but
Mm,
I have I have no power over the market.
mm.
And so when I kind of realized that, it changed how I started communicating to my clients. And all of
Amazing.
a sudden, I was hearing the frustration for them wasn't with me. It was with
Mhm.
market, but I have been taking it personally, right?
Ooh, that's so big.
I am my results. And I'm like, no, no,
Right.
no, I am not my results. Right? We can't like I can do all the right things, but
Mhm.
this is not, we have no power there. And
Yeah.
it's kind of scary, but very freeing.
It's so freeing. And it's just that initial uncomfortable, doesn't feel safe because it's not how we've operated. When
Yes,
you can get through that and you can titrate to the other side,
yes,
I think what your clients experience then is more authenticity,
yep,
more energy, more higher frequency because you are being you
yep,
instead of being wrapped up in all this other
yep.
untruth and
Or walking
misperception.
on, yes, or walking on
Yes.
eggshells trying to share this information when it's like it
Yeah.
just is what it is.
Just
It,
is.
it just is. Um,
Hmm.
this has been such a great I can't believe we're out of time.
Oh, so
This has been
good.
a great conversation. Okay, so Lori, how number one for your podcast, so
Mhm.
ambitious, awakened, and aligned.
Yes.
Okay, where can people listen to it?
All the places.
All the places.
Apple,
Okay,
Spotify, YouTube, all the
love
places.
it.
Ambitious,
Love it.
awakened, and aligned.
Wonderful. Thank you. And then how can someone reach out to you if they also feel just like I feel like we didn't have enough time to talk about more things?
Amazing. Probably the best thing is Instagram or LinkedIn, which
Perfect.
is Hawk Inspired or Laurie Hawkins. And I think the other home is the website is hawkinspired.com.
Perfect. So LinkedIn, Instagram, or hawkinspire.com. I'll put all those links in the show notes, guys. Lori, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you
This
for
was
having
wonderful.
me. It was such a great pleasure.
So, so
Yay.
good. Guys, thank you so much for listening. This is Krystal Lee Lucier, also known as your Home Sweet Home 519 Realtor. Krystal Lee. We will see you next time. Bye.